we were getting to the stage in our life where our own young adults were going to university, growing up, and starting to think about there would be a bit more space in the home. We were going to a dance class in a church in Cambridge, and there was a poster up on the wall that said, I can't remember exactly what it said, but it said something like, could you host a young person? And I looked at it and thought, maybe we could. So we went to an introductory evening and found out a bit more about it. Thought it sounded like a really interesting thing to do, perhaps a little bit daunting, but no harm in finding out more. And so that was the start of the journey, really. And we did some training and had some conversations with people who'd done something similar, perhaps foster care of teenagers, that sort of thing. And yeah, that was the start of the journey. In terms of anxiety about going into this, I wouldn't say that I had any really big fears, but the main thing was just the uncertainty. We'd not done something like this before. How would we cope with it, and whether or not we'd get on with whoever came to live with us. So I suppose embarking on something completely different and the inevitable changes that would mean to our family dynamics and routine. In terms of those fears materialising, the other thing that really helped with it was we were reassured that there would be a very careful matching process of the young person with us and our family, and there was plenty of opportunity to discuss that and what we would and wouldn't be able to accommodate. And I think that worked really well. The young person, Ozzy, who's living with us, has fitted in really well. There was also reassurance that if we were having any difficulties, that there would be plenty of meetings and availability to phone and chat any difficulties that were happening, and that if from either side it really wasn't working, it's not a binding agreement. The reality has turned out really well, but in terms of whether it matches my expectations, I was quite careful not to have too fixed an expectation of what it would be like. One of the things I hadn't anticipated, which has been particularly enjoyable, has been sharing with Ozzy some experiences which have been sort of perhaps a normal part of our family life, but hadn't been part of her previous experience, and that's just really exciting. So things which perhaps we'd taken a bit for granted, outings to a film or a play or a concert or something like that, some of those things she'd not had the opportunity to do before. Enjoying those with her has been a pleasure. I would describe the past year as having its ups and downs. So I think she's gained in confidence. It's very satisfying hearing some of the difference that having a stable base has made to her in terms of anxiety symptoms, that sort of thing. There have been some sticky patches where she hasn't been enjoying the course that she was doing and the work experience she was on, and didn't really know what to do next. And those were probably difficult times for us because we didn't know, we couldn't decide that for her. So, some of the things we want to kind of make her life better, but, we don't necessarily have the power to make everything better. I was worried perhaps for myself in terms of, the phrase empty nest, and wondering, what was I going to, apart from sort of outside the home, what was next in terms of family life. And it certainly hasn't been a boring year. It hasn't felt like an empty year. I feel like we've got quite a full nest at the moment. So, yeah, it's been good. Right. To anybody who's considering being a host, don't let anxiety put you off. It's inevitable if you step out and do something a bit different. There's going to be some anxiety about how that's going to turn out. Find out more about it. It's a very careful process of conversation with Mike and consideration by the other people involved with Concrete Rose as to whether it's going to work, and then a careful process of matching with somebody to live with you, and that it's not easy all the time, but it's definitely been rewarding.